All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Investor Inspiration. Welcome to my presentation. Who's your trading partner? Pretty important to work with the right people and the right markets. We're going to take about 45 minutes front to back here to have that conversation. And without further delay, I'm going to jump right into it. I figure we might as well put the gas pedal down and get the ball rolling on an awesome day of learning for all of you. I'm coming to you from Market Traders Institute in Lake Mary, Florida. We've been in the business of training new Forex traders since 1994. We've built and continue to build our track record for 21 years. We've got 30,000 trained students worldwide. And when it comes to Forex, there's a lot of other groups that are in existence without a doubt, but there's only one that's what you'd consider to be number one. And we've got the longest track record and the largest number of trained students in the business. So by choice or by good luck, you've come to the very best. All right, we're mentioned in this month's Inc. 5000 magazine, one of the fastest growing companies in the world. And we got there by producing one thing. And I think this is where the rubber meets the road. For our clients, we get them results. And results rule when it comes to trading. Our success comes from building Forex traders who get them. Then they tell 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, and all of a sudden we get the chance to be mentioned in the same breath as Microsoft and GoPro and Timberland. So a great group. I'm proud to be a part of it. We're led by the boss, the FX chief, Jared Martinez. You might have seen him on CNBC or Fox Business. Long story short, his success in the Forex led a lot of people to ask him for help. And that just makes sense as far as I'm concerned. You see a successful person doing something, and you tap him on the shoulder. You say, hey, can I do what you do? He wrote a book, and that became a bestseller. But here's what happened. More and more people who were trying to get into trading markets kept coming to him and saying, look, I like the book, but instead of telling me how to do this, can you show me how to do it? You know, direct, live, hands-on. Can I trade with you? And that's why he started Market Traders Institute with that purpose, to create Forex traders direct and live and hands-on. He counts on me to get you started. Now, who am I? I've been trading markets since 1994. I'm licensed in stock and options, in commodities, in futures and Forex. I probably traded a couple million shares of stock and probably over $1 billion in Forex. I've managed a couple of trading desks, which means that I've trained traders from the ground up in all areas of their professional career. So if you're brand new, if you're what you consider intermediate, somebody who's had a little bit of trading experience, maybe you got a live account, or maybe you're trading for a living, I've been there with you. And 20 years in the business, here's what I know. All right, and if you don't have a pen and a paper handy, now's the time to get one, because there's really 2 keys to success when it comes to trading. Number 1 is the market that you trade, and number 2, it's the people that you trade with. The right market is the one that gives you the most advantages, all right, especially if you're new. And hands down, that's the Forex market, all right? I've traded them all, and I've come to that conclusion. You got to trade the market that gives you the most advantages. But next up, who you work with is really going to make the biggest difference. And that's why I've never been too interested in the latest chart presentation or the latest fancy strategy. Because if it was all about science, everybody would be making money. And if you agree with that, just go ahead and type true in the box. Let's make sure that we're connected on the webinar interface. If it was all science, everybody would be making money. True? Yeah. Let me ask you this. If you had a choice between reading another trading book or actually getting an invitation to trade alongside a trader who was doing it live in the market, which one would you pick, right? Another trading book, or let me get in there live next to you who's making the dough in the market, show me how to do this thing, right? Of course, it's live, and that's really where the rubber meets the road. Don't give me more information. There's plenty of that. I do a Google search on Forex. I get all the information I need. Give me some results. Show me what I need to know, and then let's have at it, all right? And if that's really what you want, you're in the right place. So let's go ahead without further delay and get started. Always remember, when I'm talking, that results rule, all right? Results rule in this market, as in fact in any market. And really, John, one of the people I work with, says it here for me. There's so much information, and it's a never-ending road. And too often, we're searching for that holy grail, rather than just making a decision. This is how I'm going to do it. This is who I'm going to do it with. So I want you to stop with the idea that you need to know everything. All right? Get started, learn what you need to know as you go, and trade alongside the right people. Because trading by yourself is tough. All right? Let's see what it is. Traders that trade by themselves, they overtrade their accounts. All right? They trade too big. They trade their P&L. They get lousy pricing when they buy, lousy pricing when they sell. Trading by yourself is tough. But when you've got somebody there with you, when it's time to press the button, now all of a sudden your results can change. And when you find the right group, that's a breath of fresh air. Maybe you make some money right out of the gate. Chuck works with us. First day out of the gate, bang, he makes himself $500. Now the fact is that's not all the money in the world, but when you get results, and you get that breath of fresh air, your confidence goes up, your account value goes up. And the goal is to get you where Larry Chung is, all right? Working directly with someone like Josh Martinez. Write down the name. He works with Josh. He trades with Josh. He sends Josh a quick thank you note. Why? Because he made himself $4,000 in a week. Now, that's serious money. He did that trade in the Forex, right? Working with a great trader. Let me introduce him to you just real quick. His name's Josh Martinez. 4 years ago, what was he doing? Probably not much different than you were doing. All right? He was working a regular job. He was a personal trainer. Right? He had about $500 in his pocket, and he knew he needed to make a change. So what did he do? He came to Market Traders Institute. He was mentored by the chief. All right? Long story short, he took his initial deposit of $500, turned it into 39 grand. All right? At which point, the chief told him, all right, you're done trading with me. Now it's time for you to join the team because I've got people banging down this door here to give me what I just gave to you. So now Josh is the lead trainer and trader at Market Traders Institute. And a lot of people ask me, hey, man, can I just trade alongside you? Hey, is there somebody that I can just mirror and match? This is what I'm going to be presenting to you today. It's not a fancy strategy. There's a ton of those. It's not new information that I could show you with red and green lights. It's a person, all right? And it's that person that's going to guide you when it's time to hit the button to get those results that you're looking for. Josh has a worldwide following, all right? When people in the market want to know how to trade, this is the guy they ask. Now, let me ask you this. If he could show you how to take $500 and turn it into $39,000 yourself, would that be something you were interested in? Go ahead and type your answer in the box. I think that's a pretty easy one. All right? Would you be interested in turning a small stake into something big? That's really the easiest question I'm going to ask you. And understand something. We all start, traders all start in the same place. They have a dream and an idea. They have an interest. They have a couple dollars in their pocket. All right? The point is to take that dough and turn it into something a little more substantial so that you're playing with the house's money, because that's going to change your perspective completely. Well, if he can show you how to do that, that's where the rubber meets the road. Now, no results typical, obviously. You don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. This is something you're going to do in addition to what you're doing right now. All right, and I'm going to tell you that, but I don't tell you about Josh Martinez for no reason. Here's his account 4 years ago. Started with $500. Today, he's taken out $4,000, $3,000, $10,000 at a time. And that's really what you're here to do. Doesn't matter who you are, man, woman, young, old, all right? Work with the guy. Hey, thanks, Josh, for the webinar. Made myself some money today. So here's what he asked me to do. Give you a foundation so that you can join him in trading. He wants you to have at least the basics of this market, and I'm a good basic trainer, without a doubt. It takes me about 45 minutes on a Saturday, all right? I got to show you the market to trade and who to trade with. Why the Forex? Forex gives you every available advantage that there is when it comes to trading. It's the most liquid market. There's $5 trillion going through here every day, all right? The object for you is to rake some of those into your pocket. Why do I mention liquidity? Because liquidity lowers your risk. Liquidity means you can get in a market and out of a market when you want to or need to, and at a price that's predictable. If you've got a market that's opening or closing, if you've got a market where bids are disappearing when there's price action, that's a market that's not liquid. This market is liquid through every price. That makes it a lower risk market. Gives you the most leverage that there is, 50 to 1. You get a lot of bang for your buck. It's open round the clock, and you don't have to bring a lot of money to get started. If you want to buy 1,000 shares of stock, guess what? You've got to be able to put the money up for the whole thing, or maybe 2 to 1 leverage is something you get. In this market, you bring a couple of $100, you get a lot of bang for your buck because it's 50 to 1 leverage. It's real easy to understand. I'm going to show you how to get started with this thing risk-free. First of all, I'm going to take you through real quick what a currency trade looks like. Most of you have probably already done this before. Stay with me. All right, let's have a little bit of fun with it. If you've ever been to a currency exchange booth, all right, currency exchange booth is where currency trading takes place, at least out in the real world, right? All the trading you do is going to be done from your kitchen table. But if you've ever been to one of these, you've done a currency trade. What do I mean? Let's say you walk up to the currency window. You're traveling. You're from the U.S. and you decide to go to Canada. Well, when you're in Canada, you want to have Canadian dollars in your pocket. So you walk up to the currency exchange booth. You look for that day's currency rate. Let's say, for example, this is what you see. What you know is for every dollar you have in your pocket, that can be traded for 1.325 Canadian dollars. If that makes sense, go ahead and say yes. Paul's got it. Cheryl's got it. All right. My screen blows up. All you guys are listening. All right. When you make that trade, let's say you do it with $1,000, you sell U.S. dollars to the person behind the window. You buy Canadian dollars at the going rate of exchange. It couldn't be any easier. Well, that's the front end of your currency trade. All right, now let's say you did that trade in the morning. Then you went into Canada, spent a little bit of time, walked around Niagara Falls and so forth. You came back to the currency window in the afternoon. Here's what you would see. In the morning, you had a currency exchange rate. But in the afternoon, what you'd see when you check the board is that the rate probably fluctuated. Why? Because currency rates are fluctuating throughout the day. That's not a big secret, all right? As business is being done around the world, currency rates are changing. In this case, they changed a little over a penny during the time that you were in Canada. To you as a tourist, that doesn't seem to make much difference. All you want to do is sell back your Canadian dollars and receive U.S. dollars in return, because it's time to go home and move on with the rest of your week. But here's what ends up happening. Because of that fluctuation in the exchange rate, you actually receive back a little bit more than you started with. Right? Now, wait a second. How did that work? The only thing that seemed to change to you was the time of day. But the fluctuation in the exchange rate allowed for you to actually receive $10 more than you started with. How did it happen? Exchange rate. Most of you, probably not too impressed. $10 doesn't get you too excited. All right? Even though that's more in a day than your checking account pays all year, $10 isn't the reason you come to one of these workshops. But here's what you need to know. I told you this was a leveraged market. And in this case, doing nothing more difficult than I just showed you, you would be able to leverage that $10 profit 50-fold. So that same fluctuation in the exchange rate and the same 1,000 invested would have yielded you a $500 profit. Right? Now, most of you are going, okay, that doesn't look too bad. Not even sure what you did, but that's 50% on my money. That's correct. That's why I focus on this market. You don't have to bring a lot to the table to put yourself in a position to make serious money. All right? Upside, downside, I'm going to get you all through the whole thing, but it's really simple to understand. If you got that part, you're halfway there already. We've been together 10 minutes. What are you going to trade? It's an easy market to understand because you don't have to know 40,000 stocks and options issues. You need to know 6 currency pairs. All right? You're going to trade the major currencies when you trade with Josh. They are the Canadian pound, the yen, the Swiss, and the Australian. Take a second to write them down. Those are important. And if you're a little bit of a veteran of this market, just bear with me. Let me get everybody caught up. All right? Canadian, Euro, Pound, Yen, Swiss, and Aussie. Those are names that are going to be very familiar to you because 90% of the trading you do in Forex is going to go through those currency pairs. All right? Every time you see one of those currencies, you're going to see it followed by an exchange rate. It's easy to read. You read it from left to right. 1 euro will buy you 1.1132 US dollars. Simple. Exchange rates are quoted in dollars and cents. Dollars and cents. But they actually add the last 2 decimal places, and these are what we want to focus on as currency traders Those are called the pips. Jot that down. The pips is what we're looking to capture in this market. That's called price interest point. It's a very small fluctuation in the rate of a currency, out there at the third and fourth decimal place, less than a penny. Less than a penny, right? But we're looking to capture those pips. Now you said I have no sound. Sound is better? Okay, thanks, Anise. Still coming through. We're going to trade lots of currency. Lots. One lot of currency, right? Stock market, you trade shares. Options, you trade contracts. Here, you're going to trade lots. Each of them controls $100,000 worth of currency. Now, you don't have to bring the whole $100,000 to the table. You bring a small amount to the table. The broker you work with is going to provide the rest so that you can trade in this market. So what are you going to bring? Well, let's say you bring $2,000 of your own trading capital to the table. The broker you work with is going to leverage that 50 times. 50 times 2,000 equals 100,000. Now you can trade a lot of currency. This is no different than how you bought your house. You put a small amount down. Your bank provided the rest. Now you get to control the asset, control the house. Same kind of thing. So you've worked with leverage before. Leverage is the key to any kind of success, right? Real estate, options, currency. You need leverage if you're going to make some noise in a market. And for providing that leverage, jot it down, the broker's going to charge you a little bit, 1 to 3 pips on your trade. That's going to be called the spread. That's the reason the broker provides you the leverage. So that's the relationship you're going to be in. Now let's put it all together. Let's say you trade the US dollar Canadian, and it moves in your direction by 50 pips, that example we did a minute ago. You got one lot of currency, you do some quick math, that's your $500 profit. So each pip is worth $10. Jot that down. Each pip is worth $10. Now, you might ask, how often do those opportunities happen in the market? 50 pips, 500 bucks on 1,000 invested, 50%, I like it. How often does it happen? It happens in all the currencies every day. In fact, when it comes to the euro, it happens 3 times that. The pound, 3 times that. There's a ton of opportunity every day. You do not have to capture even one of these. You just need to capture part of one. 500 bucks a day, that's 2,500 a week. Now we're talking about something substantial. All right? Now, what if you don't have $2,000 to invest? All right? Can you still trade in this market? You can. You're just going to trade a little bit smaller. Instead of trading a lot of currency, you'll trade a mini lot of currency. Jot that down. On a mini lot, you still get 50 to 1 leverage, but you're going to trade a smaller increment. Each of the pips in that case will be worth $1. Give you a second to jot that down. Now, can you make money off mini lots? If you made 88 pips in a half an hour, you'd make yourself $88. 88 pips in a half hour is $88. Now, I don't know about you, but for some people, that's what they make in a full day. In this case, trading a couple of $100 in the Forex market, there's an opportunity to still make some money. Here's the goal, all right? A guy with a mini account working with Josh making himself $920 a day. That's where the opportunity is. $1,500 in 2 weeks. And this is a guy that was a veteran of trading the markets. The difference for him was not the opportunity. He understood what was available in Forex. The difference was working with Josh changed his results. And that's really what I'm here talking to you about today. Pete does it. Look, I worked with Josh, did what he told me to do, made myself 80 pips. On a full lot, that's $800. Not a bad day's work. Okay? Bought the currency. That's the easy part. In fact, that part's real easy. But I want you to look at this real quick as I give you the basics. All my new people, I hope, appreciate this part. Because as much as we talk about the upside, of course we have to talk about trading properly. So see these words right here, stop and limit? Write those down. Stop and limit. What's a stop? It's an order you'll place to protect your downside so that every trade you do, you understand what risk taking before you enter the trade. That's your worst case scenario. In a liquid market, what will happen? If the trade goes against you and hits your stop, that's the floor you've built into your trade. Out of the market you'll go, protecting the rest of your account, being ready for the next trade. What's a limit? That books your profit. Okay. There's no great strategy. This is really important. There is no great strategy that you will ever hear about that tells you to hit the sell button. All right, market's fluid. It's predictable to a degree, but you trade with stops and limits to take advantage of the technology that's right in front of you. Stops and limits allow you to relax. When it comes part of buying, you're the biggest part of that equation. All right, like I said, that's the easy part. Bought the currency, no big deal. Click. Okay, entering a position is not that hard. The sell is the hard part. Money is made or lost on the sell. Write that down. Money is made or lost on the sell. And when you trade with stops and limits, you take yourself out of the sell equation and let the trade do its work for you. Biggest mistake traders make is believing that they can trade by themselves and without stops and limits. And if the only thing you get out of my workshop today is taking advantage of the technology that's in front of you, making sure that you're not trading your P&L, but that you're letting the trade do its work and letting the tools do their work, you've gotten something out of my workshop. You can't take a big loss if you have a stop order. You can't miss a profit opportunity if you have a stop order. If you place them at the beginning, only one of two things can happen. It either hits the target or it hits the downside and you move on. If that makes sense, say yes. As my screen blows up, listen, we talk about pips being worth $10. If your upside is 50 and your downside is 10, it's entirely possible that you get hit on the downside 4 times out of 5. You've got a nice tight stop. You're protecting your stake, your account. But you only have to be right once to be profitable. 50 pips on the upside, plus 50. 10 pips on the downside, times 4 is 40. So even only being right 1 time out of 5, you end up profitable if you're trading properly. This is where most traders blow it, and why you need a partner to make sure you're following these rules. I can trade blind. Give me a trade that's on right now, and I will tell you where the stop and limit goes, and I'll tell you right from this point what your risk should be. Too many times traders overtrade, and they trade their profit and loss statement. Oh, it's at a loss. It's moving against me. Let me buy some more. No. A trade moving in your direction is the one you should be levering. It's the hardest thing to do, and that's why you need a pro helping you to do it. All right, here's a guy trading a mini account. In a day, he made 754 pips. That's the opportunity. Now, did he make $7,000? Probably not. He was probably trading a mini account, but still, $754 is significant. And it's not because he's doing it by himself. He's working with Josh. He's working with the chief. And you're about ready to do it too, because you're talking the talk in this market. Don't think you have to be an expert to be successful. All right, most of the traders I know are not quants. They have not developed some fancy strategy. They just get it. All right, and when it comes to traders, either you get it or you don't. Either you've made it or you're struggling. All right, we're all looking for the same thing. But I don't know too many traders that are in the game for a while that are mediocre. Either they're killing it or they're out. I want you to be the one that's killing it, and you're just about ready to do it because you know the terms. You can talk the talk. So we'll have you around. Come on in. We'll show you how to do this. Liquidity, round-the-clock market. You know your currency pairs, pips, lots, leverage, and your spread. Now you've got enough vocabulary. So now the last part is actually doing the job, translating an idea and a little information into the right action. Now there's 3 steps to this. When you're new, I only need you to worry about the first one. If you can spot the trend, we can talk. All right? Let the heavy lifting be up to the person that's going to be your mentor for a while. Are you going to learn as you go? Of course. Are you going to be able to decide what all this stuff means as you go? Of course. But nobody wants to start in trading and feel like they're drinking from a fire hose. All right? It'll only lead to some frustration. You want to be able to get in and do something, make something happen quickly. So if you can pick up this part, then you jump into the trading room with us, and results are going to rule the day. I'll show you how to do that risk-free, but first you have to tell me. All right, looking at this chart, this is a price chart on the Euro-New Zealand pair. Great. All you got to do is tell me right now if you can identify this trend. Is this an uptrend or a downtrend? I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm just trying to keep things simple, because that's really where the name of the game is. Trading simple, buy low, sell high. Right? Trading simple, the trend is your friend. That's why I need you to be able to recognize, as all of you have, that this is an uptrend. All right? This is the key. Now, within the trend, there's opportunity. All right? Within the trend, there's times when this train is moving. The big banks are buying this particular currency pair, all right? And that train's moving up. Then the train slows, all right? Gives you a chance to get on again for the next move up. Buy low, sell high. Sounds simple. Stay with me, all right? There's opportunity after opportunity within this currency pair. But here's what you need to know. Over here is where the trend gets established. Here is the tough part. Why? Because more often than not, traders will look at this formation and they'll say, this is going down. And their first inclination will be at this point to be a seller instead of a buyer. The hardest thing to do when this thing comes into your price is to click the button and buy it. A lot of traders see things going down and they hate it. Oh no, it's going down. Good traders see this coming down and say, it's coming back to my price. That's where I need to enter. But if you're trading by yourself, you don't have a confirmation of that from an experienced person. So you end up doing the wrong thing. If you have an experienced person that says, this is the price we're looking for, let's jump on it, in your mind, you're not alone in the exercise. And I'm here to tell you, trading with a partner is the difference between success and mediocrity, or success and doing something else. I want you to have that success, all right? Help me out with this one. And I see your questions. Hang with me because I got just a limited amount of time. I'm going to bring up questions as soon as I'm done. Uptrend or downtrend? Help me out. Uptrend or downtrend on the Australian? Another easy one, all right? And if you can spot that, you're ready to do this. And remember what I said, there's very few traders that only make a little bit of money. When I can get you into a room where you're in an atmosphere where people are making $5,000 a week or $20,000 a month, you're going to see the difference between reading the books, reading the free stuff on the internet, all right, talking shop about trading down at Starbucks, whatever, or actually getting the job done. And at this point, you're ready to take a step forward, right? There's only a couple of different ways to get where you want to go. I know where you want to go. I've been where you might be, right? I've had a couple dollars in my pocket and kind of a dream. I needed to find performance and the right mentor. This is the guy I'm working with now. This is my trading partner. This is Josh Martinez. What does he have? He's got a live trading room, all right? He calls it the Forex Mentorship and Empowerment Program. What's mentorship? He's going to teach you and trade live with you. All right, what's empowerment? Having a big enough bank account to know that you could probably pull the same trick tomorrow. All right, in a minute, I'll put up a web address where you'll get a little basic information so you can join the live program. And once you enroll, you're going to get a username and a password, all right, to 8 live sessions. They start on Monday. There's also a session on Thursday. Mondays and Thursdays, 2 sessions per week. Josh is going to do the analysis. He'll do the heavy lifting for you. All right, live entries with stops and limits. Show you how to not only trade, but what to trade, where your stops go, where your limits go, the setups that you're looking for. but he'll also be there trading live with you so that when it comes time to push the button, you'll be able to do it. When's your first session? Monday, this Monday, 9 o'clock. You're ready to be there. You can talk the talk. It's not that hard, right? 6 currency pairs, buy low, sell high, uptrend, downtrend. You've got it. Monday the 26th, when you get your user ID and password, we're going to go through full trade setups and analysis with you. With what I taught you, you're ready to hit the ground running. Now, if you're not able to listen in on Monday, it's not a problem because that session's going to be recorded and archived. But here's what you need to know. As we speak, what's called the pound drop is happening right now. Josh has identified 2 trades that he's going to want you to take advantage of. Get that good pricing that you mentioned a little bit earlier on the way in, right? He's looking for 731 pips on the pound Canadian. He's looking for 1,200 pips on the pound Australian. When? Over the next 2 weeks. That's 2,000 pips. Times 10 is 20 grand. Times $1 is 2 grand. So if you've got a couple $100 and you could put it into a trading account, be there Monday for this hour and see how those things are setting up. All right? Then what's going to happen? Well, then we're going to go Thursday and trade live. This Thursday you'll trade from 7 to 11 Eastern Time. So that's when the U.S. market opens. All right? It's live market. You'll trade the U.S. pre-market and then the open session. It's going to be a busy time. Not quite as busy as when the European market opens, but this session is going to be live in the market. And this is where there's a leap from information to action. Instead of giving you more materials to learn, he says, come and trade with me and we'll do it together. All right, so here's your first 8 sessions. Mondays, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, always at 9 a.m. Eastern, always recorded and archived. Then Thursdays, we alternate. All right, twice we're going to take advantage of the U.S. session. Twice we'll take advantage of the European session. Why do you want to be at the November 5th session in particular? Write this down. He's going to give you the 10-minute non-farm payroll acceleration trade. Now, what is that? Non-farm payrolls is when the Forex market moves because it's a big announcement. It's considered huge. A lot of traders make all their money for the month the first Friday of the month on this announcement, non-farm payrolls. If you want to see results of this particular strategy, you look at the last time non-farm payrolls were announced on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currency pairs. It was almost like free money using this particular strategy. So you'll want to be there on the 5th just to find out what that's all about. Again, Josh is going to do the heavy lifting. Is there a lot to do? Sure there is, right? There's plenty of analysis. He's going to do the analysis. He's going to tell you what your risk is and what your reward is. But everything's going to have a timestamp. Everything you see in Josh's trading room is going to have that timestamp so you can book results. Now, on this one in particular, the Aussie New Zealand, he traded this earlier in the week. Before it happened, he said, here's our buy level, 106.415. He said our target was 107.20. Now, understand, with 22 pips of risk on a mini account, that's a $20 risk. The upside reward was 61, so that's 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. That's good trading. Here's how it turned out. This didn't just rocket up to 107.20. It went all the way to 108, and it did it in a day and a half. That's 159 pips. How do I know? I took the trade. Why wouldn't I? 22 pips of risk, everybody can afford that. 159 pips to the upside. This is the kind of opportunity that there is. It's low risk, it's high reward, and it's trading with someone who's been there. Those are your first 8 sessions. Now, the question all of you are asking at the moment is, all right, how much is it? It's 8 live sessions in the market, Mondays and Thursdays, mentorship from Josh Martinez, and a personal consultation so we make sure that your personal goals are being met. I'll send you the Chiefs book. I'll send you the info I went over today, and I'll make sure that when you're trading round the clock, you have somebody available to help you. Now, normally that retails for $349, and I think you understand that when you come to Investor Inspiration workshops, there's going to be an opportunity for you to make an investment. But what they've done today is, at the Investor Inspiration Workshop, they've taken off 50% to make it $179. Now, just before I came in, I saw Josh, and he said, you're going to have a couple hundred people worldwide on this workshop. Let's get them all in. Let's give them a price that everybody can afford so there's no real barrier to entry. I said, well, what are you thinking about? He said, what's a cup of coffee? $3. Make it $3 a day. So for $87, or about the cup of coffee price where you live, you're going to be in Josh's trading room, and that's going to start Monday morning. Now, I'm going to send you a link so that you can go ahead and get involved and get started. But while I'm talking, know this. That $87 is results driven. It's performance driven. In fact, it's guaranteed. All right? Look at this box. 100% money back guarantee. Make a decision to work with him and alongside him. It's a great introduction to the market. It's also a great opportunity. Everybody asks for the same thing. Can I just trade alongside you? No, you can. Right? For $87, you can do it. And Josh says, look, I'll guarantee your results. For 30 days, if you're not satisfied with this, I'll give you back your $87 if it's not everything that I said. I'm going to show you a 731 pip opportunity on the pound Canadian. I'll show you a 1,200 pip opportunity on the pound Australia. All right, 1,900 pips for $87. And you're going to be in the live Forex mentorship and empowerment team. I'm a part of it. Why wouldn't I be? Might as well trade with the best. Who's my trading partner? It's Josh Martinez. I can trade with anyone. I can trade any market I want. I can trade at home from my kitchen table. But when I trade with him, I don't overtrade. I don't trade too big. I don't get lousy pricing. I've made a decision, and I'm sticking with it. I'll give you those bonuses, but you can get started today. When you do, you click on this little link. It brings up this little page. You scroll to the end of it, fill out some simple information and your card number, and place your order. Immediately, you'll get that welcome letter, and you'll be ready for Monday morning. And with that, I've got 7 minutes left, and I promised I would take questions at the end, and I know I went quickly. And what am I talking about here? Dreams and opportunity and results. Performance. Great. Everybody's got their dreams. I get it. Everybody wants to trade. Who wouldn't? It's fun. It's exciting. You get it right, it's damn lucrative. All right, but at the end of the day, you got to be trading the right market, and you got to be trading with the right people. There's no strategy that's better than actually being able to get the job done. Now, dear Joe, Bobby says, it looks like a great pitch, but all the results are is profit, no mention of losses. That's an important point. And I did mention that every trade you start with, and this is a big deal, has to come with a stop order and a target. And you can be wrong 4 times out of 5 and still end up net profitable. The traders that can do that are the ones that have success. 731 pips on the upside is pretty exciting, but you have to make sure that you understand what your risk is before you enter. Your risk is not, oh, is this the wrong person? It's, am I trading properly? Am I buying into strength or weakness? Am I looking at what my risk is ahead of time and my reward and letting the trade do the work instead of me? If I can get you to use the tools that your broker gives you and get yourself out of the sell equation, I'm telling you, your results will increase tenfold. If you use your stops and limits, even if you're trading blind, if you use your stops and limits, your results will increase tenfold. It's a lesson that every trader has to learn. If you're doing it in a liquid market like this one, you can't get bit. What is your percent risk per trade? It depends, Fred, on the analysis. If I'm looking at a backside support bar on the Great British Pound New Zealand, that's going to, just because of the characteristics of that currency, have a larger pip risk than, let's say, the US dollar Canadian, which is less volatile and moves more slowly. So if I'm going to take a risk, it's going to be based on analysis. And I don't talk necessarily about my percentage risk per trade as I do my dollar risk per trade. It looks like marketing only info. On this one, it sort of is. All right? Because I'm asking you not to look for another strategy and another strategy and another strategy or another book or another tape. I'm asking you to understand the difference between picking the right market and the right people, because we can search for strategies all day. It is being able to do them. Somebody nudging you, hey man, this is the right one, giving you that confirmation when it comes time to hit the buy or sell button, so that you don't get lost in the fog of a bad trade if you aren't trading with stops or limits. Do you understand the difference? I've done this for too long. I hear about strategies every single day. On Thursday, you're going to do the London Open strategy. That's one of Josh's. What do you need? You need to be there at 3 a.m. so that you can see where the first hourly bar opens and closes and be ready to trade at 4. Okay, that's a strategy. But the key to it is being able to execute. Can't do Monday. At what time do I do it? Fred, we'll record it. But be there Monday so you can see the setup on the pound Canadian and the pound Australian. That alone will be worth your 87 bucks. All right? If you can see the strategy and capture just a part of it, it's 9 pips I've got to find you in a month's time. And it's still guaranteed. I could employ any car salesman to do this job. You could, Daniel. But, listen. At some point, someone has to help you make a decision. And I guess that's what I'm trying to do. And in a limited amount of time, all I can do is impress upon you that you got a shot to do something that you might not have had before. Results rule. Look at charts. This isn't a car. This is a chart. What is it? Australia, New Zealand, 1, 2, third move. Right? Risk of 31, reward of 93. Did this trade come in? It did. Right? Look at another one. Again, off of Josh's charts. Risk of 110, reward of 330. What's this on? Again, the pound New Zealand. Did this one come in? It did. It's not about track record so much as it is about being able to do this on a daily basis. Give it a shot. All right, 2 more minutes. I can see no link for the order. Reed will send it to you. I'll send it to you again if I can. There it is, with 2 minutes left. How many trades will you do in this time, and is it only scalping or day trading? The pound CAD and the pound Aussie, those drops are based on the hourly chart. That's the one you'll want to pay attention to on Monday morning. Do I get access to charting software if I join? You're going to get charting software from whatever broker you work with. If you work with Oanda, they'll have you download their platform. FXCM, download their platform. FX Pro, download their platform. It takes just a couple of minutes. Will there be a recording link for this presentation? Yes, there will. What if I don't have a Forex account? Go to fxdaily.com, open up a trading account, a practice account. It's easy. You can have it open in 5 minutes. OANDA is the broker I work with out of Toronto. London market does not change time for daylight savings stuff, do they? Not sure what that means. I filled out all the info, including the credit card, got the page confirming my purchase, but have not received an email that confirms it. I'll make sure that you get it, Jacqueline, and I will see you Monday. Does Forex fall under SEC day trading rules? No, it doesn't. You don't need $25,000 in your account to do it. Rule 2525 does not apply here. You can do as many buys or sells as you want. Szymanski, it also has a tax advantage over day trading or capital gains. What makes the price move? More buyers than sellers? I mean, that's a lame answer. But the fact of the matter is, it's the big banks that are moving this market. They're trading $5 trillion a day. We're following the lead of the big banks when they post their foreign exchange rates. You're welcome. You're with Interactive Brokers. Nicholas, I think they have a Forex platform. If they don't, no big deal. What's the tax advantage? Of course I have to tell you, talk to your tax professional when it comes to that. Is there any link that would explain how the gains on loss on Forex would be taxed? Chris, look it up. If you type Forex taxation rules in Google, it'll come up, and it'll describe that to you pretty clearly. All right, but is there an advantage here? Yeah, remember I told you, Forex has every available advantage. Taxes happens to be one of them. And Rick, thank you. IB does have Forex screens. Interactive Brokers, they're super cheap, fantastic. All right, super cheap and good customer support at Interactive, fine, works. Anybody else? All right, that's my 45 minutes. And I appreciate, you know what, I got it. All right, dreams and results and performance are different than something you can sink your teeth into, and it's a little bit more ephemeral. But the fact of the matter is, I know the difference when it comes to success and failure, and it comes down to the right market and the right people. Give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. If in 30 days it's not your cup of tea, we'll give you back your 87 bucks. All right? After that, I got a feeling that you'll be around for a little while. Let's make some money together in the fourth quarter this year. Big opportunity happening. You got to find out what it is.